Hey friends, what's up? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. If you're hearing a little bit of murmuring in the background, it's because there are people mowing the lawn, Ian included, and that is just an indicator of the warmer season. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing yet again another huge list, I believe over 30 things that you can do during a specific season. And of course, I'm going to be talking about summer because summer is coming up in a couple of weeks, the official start of summer, although I'm sure a lot of us are already in full swing with our summer activities. So this list is going to be super fun. It's very accessible, I think. It's going to be obviously not vacation ideas, but ideas that you can do if you're not going to go on vacation, if you are going to go on vacation and you need some ideas, or anything in between. So I think you're gonna like it, and as always, as I do with my autumn, winter, and spring bucket lists or things to do, I make a companion Notion board. Is that what it's called? It's basically a free Notion template. That's what it's called. It's a free Notion template that I always put in the description box, and you can essentially just copy and paste the template. It's free, and you can get all of the ideas that I'm talking about today. Won't be redundant for those who have seen those videos, but you can get that link in the description box and you can check it out for yourself. But let's get right into it. All right, so I have my phone myself out because of course I can't remember all of these things from the top of my head, but the first thing that I have is to go see a drive-in movie. I have yet to do this, but this is something that always comes up for me when I think about summer because I want to do it so badly. So if you know any drive-in movie theaters in the New York and New Jersey area, let me know in the comments. Definitely something I want to do. The next thing is quite summery and I'm sure on the top of your heads, but a beach day. And I wrote down some ideas that you can do at the beach, such as play volleyball. You can go into the water if it's not too cold. At least on the East Coast, it is very cold water. But you can also bring a book and you can have like a nice beach read kind of day. You can lounge, suntan, and you can also get some drinks and bring some friends. Another very summery thing is to have a picnic. I have yet to do this as well, but I absolutely love the idea of a picnic. Maybe a couple of friends or so will just gather together and you'll have like a spread for yourself. So make a bit of sandwiches, some drinks, some snacks, some chips, maybe some veggies and stuff like that. Sorry, my phone is blowing up. But yeah, I think a picnic spread is super cute, super fun, and you can go hang out with your friends or you can do it solo. Honestly, you can bring a book for yourself or listen to a podcast and just enjoy the fresh air while you have a great meal. The next thing is to make s'mores. You do not need an open fire in order to make s'mores, although I do have an open fire and I probably will be doing that this summer. But you can also make s'mores inside, like in the oven and stuff like that. If you want a quick recipe for that, just let me know in the comments and I can write it down there. But s'mores are definitely possible with or without an open flame. Another thing you can do is stargaze. What I used to do when I was a teenager is that I would sit out on the roof of my mom's house and just look at the stars. Of course, it's so much cooler to be like on a roof and just look up. You're a little bit closer to the stars, of course, but you don't have to go all out and do that. That's just what I used to do when I was younger. Another thing that's probably on my spring bucket list, but I have to bring it in here because I just have to, is to visit a farmer's market. I love farmer's markets so much. You support local stores, local farms and stuff like that. You get really fresh ingredients and it's fun. It's like a whole experience. I went to a new farmer's market last weekend and there was a band playing. Everybody was just super lively there, so highly recommend. It is very bustling during the summertime. And in that same realm, you can make a recipe or create a new recipe based on the stuff that you find at the farmer's market. Sometimes the things that you find at the farmer's market are very exclusive because of the seasonality of things, so get creative. All right, in the same realm of making a meal, you can use your grill if you have a grill, or if you want to like coordinate with someone that you know who has a grill and meet up at the park or something, but use your grill to make something other than just burgers and hot dogs. I feel like we can get really creative here, and I just recently purchased a cast iron to put on top of my grill, and I'm thinking I'm gonna make pancakes like outside in the morning during the summertime and have me a whole breakfast scene scene while being outside. I just think that is super cool and something that you don't usually see when it comes to grilling during the summer. So you can also get creative with this. Another thing you can do is add some plants into your space. You can visit a local nursery, or you can go to whatever area that you find, you know, plants at, and buy a bunch and start learning how to take care of plants. I feel like the summertime is the best time if you're a newbie to like plant owning. So highly recommend doing that. I'm definitely going to do that. I cannot believe I haven't yet, but I will. Another thing you can do is look for local fairs, market events, etc. So during the summertime, local towns and cities will host events just because the outdoor space is there to be used, and why not have an event? So maybe look up your town or a neighboring town on Google, just be like local events, this town, and then you can see what's going on in your neighborhood, and who knows, you might find some really, really cool things. Strawberry picking is definitely something on this list. I've never done that, but I might do that this year, so stay tuned on my Instagram if I end up doing that. But definitely fruit picking, and I feel like strawberry picking is the most popular one. Another thing that I'm almost positive I mentioned in all my other bucket lists, but camping slash glamping slash backyard camping. Big fan of camping. I just think it's really nice to get out there and get some fresh air and just be one with nature when possible. So obviously during the summertime, it's a great time to do that. Road trips is the next thing on the list. I love taking road trips. I love taking weekend trips that are just like a couple of hours away at most. I am 100% going to be doing this. I think I might be taking a trip maybe deeper into the state that I live in or a neighboring state, and just check out a new scene, just to switch up, you know, your surroundings for a little bit. It can also be like a road trip just for the day instead of being like a weekend thing. All right, another thing is one of my favorites, to host a game night. This can be virtual or not. I don't know if you've ever heard of Jackbox games, but that is something that is very virtual friendly. You don't, like, one person can be the host and then everybody else can just use their phone to dial in and play. So it's really cool. I have played it once recently and it was very fun. Or you can have a board game or just like a physical game night as well, if you're into that. Very much into that. Okay, another thing that you can do is a game day event. This sparked a memory in me that I completely forgot that I used to do. I had a friend who, like, both of us, we lived very close to each other, and a lot of our friends lived near each other. We would host a day, like a full day from morning to evening of like a game day. I forgot what we used to call it, but we would have a water balloon fight that was just very strategic. We had rules and tools and all sorts of different like fun tactics to go along with this game day. We also did things like scavenger hunts during this game day, and it would be all outdoor because of course it's summertime, you want to be outside. And we would host it, we would have snacks, we would have like break time, we would have beverages, we would also have like scheduled times where we would play specific kinds of games. It just reminds me of when I was in grade school where we would have like a field day, but you do it yourself and you can make your own rules and you can have your own friends there, and it's such a big thing. I can't believe I forgot about it, but it used to be a huge thing and it was so much fun. No matter what age you are too, by the way, like I used to play with my older brother and all of his friends and then all of my friends, and it was so much fun. Another thing, very simple, have a pool party if you have access to a pool, like duh. Another thing you can do is spend the day in your local town or city. If you don't get to do that often, maybe just spend the whole day shopping around, window shopping, trying new restaurants, and just, you know, going in and out of places, and, you know, have a day to yourself on the town. Is that the right thing to say? Something that I used to do a lot in the summertime in New York City is to visit a museum. If you're in the New York area or neighboring area, New York has a lot of museums, so definitely check that out. Another thing you can do if you're not into the outdoors is close yourself up at home, close up all the windows, get it nice and cool with the AC, and read a book or play a game. Or if you are a big fan of reading, you can do the same exact thing at the library. I used to do that a lot as well, and it was very fun. Okay, I also mentioned this in every single bucket list, but go on a hike. Why not? I'm personally not a fan of summer hikes, but if you are, have at it. Right, another thing is to watch the sunset or rise. I know when I was a teenager, in my very dramatic days or romanticized days, although I still try to do that these days, I would stay up all night all night, and one of my favorite things, even though I hadn't slept at all, was watching the sunrise. It was just very peaceful, everything was quiet, it was beautiful, and good memories for me. So I would highly suggest, if you want to have memories like that, to do the same. All right, another thing very similar to the plant thing that I mentioned, but to do some gardening. It is not too late to do some gardening. If you go to some nurseries, they will give you plants that have already sprouted a bit, so all you have to do is just put it in some dirt once you get home, and you can still do some gardening. So you still have some time. All right, another thing is to create a summer playlist. There's nothing better than having the windows down in your car, the wind blowing in your hair, just jamming out to some really, really summery songs. It is one of like the most nostalgic feelings for me personally every single summer, so definitely recommend doing that. I feel like I mentioned something similar to this before, but explore a new town or city. So it doesn't necessarily need to be like a road trip where you drive for an hour or so, but it can be just any new town or city in your area. All right, these are things that I used to do a lot with my friends and my brother's friends. Try specialized activities such as bowling, laser tag, paintball, go-karts, arcade games. Any of those things are super nostalgic to the summertime. Gives me some Stranger Things vibes, but also my childhood vibes. So highly recommend checking those out if they're still available in your area. And now that I'm thinking about it, some of these things like arcades might not exist anymore. All right, the next thing is to visit a garden, like a community garden. You can definitely look this up online in your local area or in a neighboring area, and some of them are absolutely gorgeous. I don't know why my phone is just... try a new ice cream flavor. This doesn't need to be at like an ice cream shop or parlor or whatever. You can very simply go to the grocery store and you will probably notice that there are so many freezers full of ice cream options, and some of them are super wild. So have at it, have fun, try something new, I suggest, and make things a little bit more exciting. Another thing you can try is a lemonade or a summer shandy concoction. There's nothing more refreshing than, you know, a shandy or a lemonade, so give that a go. Maybe try something bubbly in your mix. I don't know. This might be a specialized activity, but going tubing, I saw somebody on YouTube do that recently, so if you have access to like a lake or a body of water and you want to go tubing, have at it. I think that's a perfect summer activity. Another thing that I like to mention is donating clothing. So I like to go through my clothes every season and go through the things that I know that I'm not going to wear this season, things that I know that I will keep and I won't keep for the following season, and just gather a huge bag and take it to a local donation center. It's just a good thing to do, and it's also a nice thing to get the clutter out of your own space and maybe make some room for new things that you can add into your summer wardrobe. This one's really basic, but go to the park. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but you know, the park is the perfect place to be at during the summertime. I put down hot girl walks, and I remember seeing someone on TikTok like talk smack about this, about like, why are we reminding people to take walks? Walks is such a like basic thing, but some people don't have the time to simply go out for a walk. Some people are very busy, and so I like to think of it as an incentive or a reminder that, you know, fresh air is out there, and hopefully it's out there, and maybe make some fun out of the occasion. Make an occasion out of doing a walk. So one idea that I have is possibly downloading an app on your phone. Of course, if you are good at walking and if you are able to add this habit into your daily routine, no problem. Obviously, you can skip this one. But for those who are struggling a little bit, or those who want to make a little bit more out of their walk, there are apps that you can download that incentivize you for your walking, for your steps. Like if you have a smartwatch, or if you just have your phone with you and it's tracking your steps. There are fun apps. There are apps that are like games almost, that can help you earn points and just, you know, play a game. Why not? All right, getting down to the end of it, taking a specialty class. When I think about this, I think about like painting classes or pottery classes, or something even simpler than that. I don't know, there's just a lot of classes going on during the summertime because there's a lot of downtime during the summertime. So definitely look around what's in your area and maybe make it a thing. Maybe gather a couple of friends who want to do it with you and make it a night's event. One thing that I have been enjoying so far recently is going wildlife spotting. Like, I don't do it on purpose, but when we're driving out and about, I will deliberately just stare out the window and see if I can find any wildlife in the area. And this is obviously not accessible to everyone, especially people who live in New York City, but if you do have access to wildlife around where you live, it can be very fun. Very recently, I saw a bunch of baby geese, like newborn baby geese. I saw a fox. I saw a vulture. I saw an owl. So it can get, it can get pretty cool, in my opinion, if you just, take a look out your window while you're taking a drive or if you're just walking around. And the last thing, as always, have fun with it. Don't take yourself too seriously. If you don't have enough, dedicated time for a vacation like some students do, maybe try implementing these things on the weekend or even in the evenings after you log off of work. And it's okay to not have a vacation where you go and travel abroad or travel to somewhere new and fancy. You can still have fun while still being at home and still in your daily routine. So have fun, and I hope this video was also fun to listen to. Again, you can get the free Notion template in the description box. There's going to be a link right down there. It also gives you access to the other seasons that I've already completed, so have fun with that as well. But that is all for this week's video. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you in next week's video.